Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back for another Pokemon POKOPIA speed build video. Today we are doing a pretty large build, but it is a standalone building with a little farm, so it's basically like a barn and a farm, and it is a functional farm, so if you actually want to like grow your crops and not just have them for the aesthetic, this will definitely work for you. I will say I did run into some space issues in this build, so I kind of wish I could have done something different with the farm itself. I really wanted to add like a nice water feature, but like I said, I ran out of room, so I couldn't fit in like a water wheel or anything like that. But you could definitely do a lot more with this build if you had more space. So I might be starting to do some of my speed build videos in Pallet Town because there is a lot more room. Also, just a warning, in this video I do show the final power that you get, so if you don't want any spoilers, I would watch this at a later time, but I do show that later on, so just FYI if you care about spoilers. And I feel like at this point you've probably seen it, but you know, maybe you haven't, maybe you've avoided it, but it does happen in this video. But we are using some of the it's a wooden floor, but I don't remember if I colored this one, or it's called like the hardwood flooring. It's a type of wood floor that is like that nice soft brown color, and then the wood wall I actually colored with the brown paint, and same with the plaster. So that's actually the plaster walls, but I used the brown paint on it, so it's a nice like tan color instead of like that vibrant white. And then I'm using the same wooden flooring inside as well, and I don't remember the dimensions of this building. If I find out, I will put it on the screen for you right now, but I basically went for like a neutral colored kind of rustic-y barn. I was thinking of doing like a stereotypical like red barn, but I thought the brown was very nice and this could work for like multiple themes. And it is a 2-story barn, so we are going to be building up a second level of the barn as well. And then for the windows, I used the like glass window and then also the hatch window, and I wanted to do them vertically with the little wood partition, but it just didn't work out. Like I wanted to use them as shutters and it just like was not looking good, so I did change it over to just that little strip of window, which I think the window with the hatch window is like a really cute combination. And then I do want, I don't know if you've like seen a barn. I don't know if you've seen a barn. You've probably seen a barn, but they have like that little like window up top. I don't know if it has a name, but I really wanted to add that to this build. So that's what I'm working on right now. And I'm using some of the walkways and the ones that have like the strips, I don't know, the ones with the wooden piece at the bottom, and then the wooden enclosure to connect those to the like level below it. And then I do the same thing on the bottom level as well, and then I use those little cross beams in the walkway in the front. I did have doors there, and then I was like, I kind of want it to be like more open, so I did take the doors away, and this little entry area is actually just like open without a door or anything. I also love how the wooden enclosures like connect to each other when you have them next to each other. I think it's really cute. And then here is we're working on like the second floor, and I used the same wood that we used for the ground below. And this is the power I was talking about. Being able to place 9 tiles down at the same time. Literally, like this power like just like breaks the game, I swear. There's so much you can do with this power. You can use like items that you can't really pick up, like that like driftwood piece. You can actually decorate with those, or those like little wood like little weed pieces. You can decorate with those too. But it is so useful for decorating, especially like once you get higher up, because before I had to like climb up there and it was not very easy at all. And then for the roof, real quick, I am using the stone roof, I believe it's called, and I also did color this with the brown paint. And if you didn't know, you can get brown paint by combining red and green. So that's how you get brown paint. There's a bunch of colors that you can like create by mixing paints together, and you just have to talk to Smear Guru for that. I think you can also make like the balloons yourself if you craft them, but I didn't do the balloons. I just had Smear Guru like color everything, because like hitting everything with the little balloons would have taken way too long. So if you have like a bulk number of items that you want to be color changed, just go to Smear Guru and don't use those balloons. If you have like 1 or 2 items to change, like a balloon is perfect. But if you have like several, listen, I don't have time to craft all those balloons and throw it at every single item. And then for the top of this area, I wanted to have like a little peak here. So I'm using the sloped little tiles at a diagonal. And then I put a little hatch window in because I thought that was cute. And then again, those little wooden side pieces. I don't know what those are called, but they're super cute. And then I did want to bring out the sides a little bit more, so I'm adding a little bit more of that wood wall. I really like the color of this one. The like normal color it comes in, I feel like, I don't know, I just don't love it. But this customization of it, I feel like looks so good, especially with the color of the plaster that we're using. And look, I just like finished this wall in like 2 seconds. And then back here, I did decide I kind of wanted a like window. I didn't want it just to be a wall. This is something I didn't have to worry about in Animal Crossing, was like the back of builds. But now with this game, since you can turn 360, I kind of have to worry about the back of builds. So I'm trying to be more like thinking about that, I guess. But yeah, I'm using, I think, 4 rows of the shingles up at a diagonal. And then instead of getting them to meet at a point, I'm actually using the flat tiles in 2 rows. I could have done another row of the sloped ones, but I kind of liked that it got like flat at a point, so that's what I did. And then basically everything you see me do on one side, I'm doing on the other side, so they are like symmetrical. And then for the top piece, like the little peak, I did make that come to a triangle. And then same thing I did in the front, I did in the back as well. So the hatch windows, the plaster walls, and those little diagonal pieces. Also, going up and down, I get confused with the magnet rise tool. So you might see me like go sideways or like up when I want to go down, or down when I want to go up. And then I basically did the same thing on the sides, the hatch windows and the little diagonal wood post. I don't remember what those are called. If I could go back and update this, I would put this little plaster a row down and then put planters on the side. I think that would have been really cute. And then I did have to finish the back of the build, and for the back middle, like where it is like straight through from the entrance, I did put a door because I didn't want it to be like all, I don't know, like all see-through, I guess. So I did put like one of those little farmy doors. And then on the sides, I did put 2 windows. And on the back, I put, I think it's 4 windows across. And I love how they combine and make like one solid window. I think that's so cute. And then I did decide to make both of the sides a room. So technically they're a house that you could put 4 Pokemon in, but I used them for like functionality. I mean, they could still be a house for Pokemon. But I used the rustic doors, and I also painted those brown. So very cute. And then upstairs, I didn't actually put a door here. I just put the little slanted pieces. I also don't really show how I decorate the interior because honestly, I didn't really decorate the interior. Just like in Animal Crossing, I'm not a big like interior decorating fan, right? So I make like a functional room downstairs on both sides, but not a whole lot of decoration going on here. And then I did want a way to get upstairs, so next to the door in the back, I put a set of the ladders on both sides, and then you just kind of have to like hop off to the side. But I think it's kind of cute that you have to come up here with a ladder. I don't think the Pokemon can climb up a ladder, right? I don't think they can unless they're the flying type, but I do leave this little thing open so you can like fly in through there as well if you want to. And then if you look straight through, I did put another window. And I wanted to add a little bit of a walkway, so I'm using more of that like wood, I don't know, slat flooring, and then some of the wooden stairs as well. I should have seen if I could color the wooden stairs. I would imagine you could, but I didn't. So maybe if you want to do that, you can. And then here is where I'm working on the little farm situation. And if you've ever seen any of those like functional farm videos, you can have like blocks of dirt and then like one tile lower than that. So that's why I'm using the walkway right here, because it's going to be like hollow underneath where any of like the wood planks are. And then in those open areas right now where I don't have the planks, I'm going to be putting soil there, or like grass or something, I don't know. And then I till that soil to put the vegetables down. But with the walkways at the same height, I guess, as the like dirt that we're going to be putting down, you can put water underneath, so your crops are like always watered because the water is touching the soil. And then here's me putting in the grass here, which again, magnet rise, literally life-changing. Like, could you imagine how much longer it would have taken me to place all of this down? It's so funny, in my other videos people were like, please tell me you know the last thing. I was like, I know, I just need to finish the story, because I had to get everything to level 5 and I hadn't done that yet. But yeah, we put the soil here, and then I did have to add some soil around it just so like the water like didn't flood this area. So I wanted to keep the water contained to like underneath that area. And this is where it would have been really nice to have like a nice water feature with like a pond and stuff, but this is like backed up right, like it's squished between two cliffs, so I didn't really have like a lot of room to work with. But yeah, you can see right here, there's not a whole lot of room between these two areas. So I have like this little waterfall that like comes with the area basically. And then I just like filled this all in with water. And then you'll see here, it like goes underneath that, and look how satisfying that is. It just like spreads to everything. There were like 2 dry spots. I go back and fix that later on, but I just had to pick up the walkway and put more water there. And then I decided I wanted somehow to have a like walkway over to this area. So I put more of that wood step, but I don't know if I would do that in real life. I might make like a cute little pattern. Again, did not have enough room, but we have a little gate too at the farm, and then some fencing. And here's the inside. I wanted to be functional, right? So I put a bunch of furnaces and some crafting benches, and then on the other side I made like a kitchen, so if I need to like cook or anything, I can come in here, which makes sense, right? If you have it like next to your farm, you can just bring your goods inside, and then just some random decor and a little community box because I think those are so cute. And then I wanted to use the wood partitions somewhere, so I put them inside. And I think now is actually the time that we actually get to like decorate around the area. So some string lights and some lanterns. I don't have a power source over here, so those actually don't light up, but you could definitely use like a windmill. Again, I know I've said it like 4 times now, but I didn't have enough room for all of that stuff. But underneath the windows, I put some planters, and I'm going for like a white and blue kind of theme for the decorations, like with the flowers and bushes and everything. So I'm using the white Skyland flowers and the blue and white wildflower. I think they're called wildflowers, right? And I think it's the oh, we're skipping. Okay. I decided I wanted to use some benches in front of this area, and to me it looked a little weird on the grass, so I did replace it. And look, this is another power that magnet rice can do, is like swap and replace. So like instead of having to break all those tiles and place them down, I just had to do the little swap and replace thing. And then I used the white, I think it's the damp hedge. Those ones are so cute. They look like hydrangeas. And then I did decide to go back and add 1 strip of the grass instead of the wood tiling, because I wanted to add some more greenery behind the benches. So I'm using like every other tile. I'm doing the tall grass, and then the other tile that I didn't put the grass, I'm using the blue mountain flowers. And I love the mountain flowers. The blue ones are so pretty. I think I have blue and pink on this save, but I have another save where I have red, and the red is so pretty. But yeah, I just go through, and every other tile is the grass, and then the other one is the blue flowers. I just feel like I hadn't used a lot of blue yet, so I wanted to use that in this build. And then here's where I'm using like the little bench setup, and this actually turns into a habitat because I used the bench and the table. And then you'll see in a little bit I go in and add a oh, you don't see it here, but I do add a little flower vase, but I swapped out the mushroom lamps for these lanterns, and I think the lanterns are really, oh, see, look, there's the vase, and it like sparkles, so that's actually a habitat. And then the little birdhouse I thought was so cute, and just like a bunch of like rusticy farm, I don't know, like carts, wooden boxes, barrels. And then here I do add more grass and flowers. I don't remember what oh, I used the blue Skyland flowers. The Skyland flowers are literally life-changing. I really want the yellow ones because I feel like the yellow and the white would be so cute together. And then here's me actually planting all of the crops. So luckily for me, we actually have 4 different types of crops. So each area is like a 2x6, 2x8, 2x7, a 2x7 area, and then I just put all of the crops in that one row. So like I have a 2x7 of the beans, a 2x7 of the wheat, a 2x7 of the potatoes, and a 2x7 of the tomatoes. Tomato, and again just more grass. And technically that's a habitat because there's 4 of them, so that works out nicely. And then again, basically everything I do on one side I do on the other so that they're nice and symmetrical, other than like the box decor. I kind of switch that up a little bit so it's not too symmetrical. And then instead of using any of the berry trees, I'm actually using like the pointy trees, like the pine trees, and just adding in some more fence. Technically you can still get through to like the other area because I do end up making some habitats over here. So you have like the tall grass habitats and like the tree shaded tall grass habitat, tree shaded flower habitat, so a bunch of other habitats. So if you're still looking for Pokemon, they can definitely spawn here, or if you just want to have them live here, like it would be really nice to have like Combee or Vespiquen live here because of the flowers. They can like drop the honey and everything, which would be nice, especially next to your farm. And then this is actually another habitat, the 2 bushes, and I put a bench down. I believe this is a habitat for Bulbasaur and Ivysaur, and then I'm using Venusaur to grow all my crops. And I actually found Charizard during this video, so I just wanted to include that because I thought it was funny. He did pop up, and then, oh yeah, Bulbasaur I got to like finish all of the growing, so I did have to time skip a day, but he grew in all of the crops for me and the trees, which was very nice of him. And I did give him some fruit, and I gave Venusaur some fruit too. But now it's just kind of like even more decorating, so adding in the leafage. If you upgrade your powers and you hold down, you can make these vines. If you just like tap and let go, it's like the vines that you can like climb up, but if you hold until it like pops, that's where you get like the intertwined ones, and those are really cute. And then up at the top, I thought it'd be cute to add some flowers and bushes. And then I actually used the wooden enclosure as like a little like fence right there. You can still fly through there, but I thought it was cute to have that little post there. And then just more leafage. I did add some of the vine garlands as well, so I have like a strip of the lights on the bottom one and then the vines at the top one. And by the way, this leafage power up is really finicky, like trying to get it in certain areas. Like I gave up right there and just added the vine garland. And then just more decoration with the sandbags. The sandbags kind of look like soil bags to me, so I thought it'd be cute for the farm area. And then the digging tools, which I think technically come in like the mining area, but like you use a shovel to farm, right? So that's what I did. And then again, just more boxes and sandbags everywhere, just kind of like a little bit cluttering up the area. And yeah, more leafage because it was looking like not symmetrical enough. And this is what it turned out to look like. I think it's really cute. This is definitely a build that I could see you doing in different color palettes. So like you could definitely make the roof a different color. I think this build would also really work if you wanted to make this a school, because the shape of the building kind of looks like a school to me. So I think that would be really cute if you made it like a elementary school for like your baby villagers. I think that would be so adorable, but it is functional. And that's going to be the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. A big shout out to our members who are on the screen for you right now. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends!